Northern Ghana, the beauty of the landscape, the warmth of the people. Ghana's north is host to some of the country's places of pride and monuments. But it goes without saying that the north is one of the most deserted parts of the country. Among several challenges, access to quality healthcare and education remain a major hurdle. Over the years, the Social Transformation Unit of Eastwood Anaba Ministries has sought in its small way to contribute to help improve the lives of people.
Our people are some of the most determined and hardworking you can find in the land of Ghana. The only problem is that you will find out that many of them have had to bury their dreams because they lack access to the basic amenities to life and the ability to be able to get the necessities they need to make life more meaningful. It's a pity when you see some school children drop out of school because they don't have what it takes to be able to continue with their education. And you see very brilliant school children, and sometimes trying to get them to come back to school is always a challenge. For some of them, you will find out that even the footwear to be able to make them feel comfortable amongst their colleagues, they don't have it to be able to come to school. So, and apart from the fact that the parents cannot afford the fees, sometimes even how to present themselves to be able to go to school is a challenge. It affects their self-esteem. The worst part of it is seeing mothers carry sick children in their arms, and maybe they don't have the money to buy drugs that have been prescribed to them. And these helpless mothers watch their children slip out of their hands into death because they cannot afford the drugs. A pathetic sight to behold. The partners and friends of Eastwood Anaba Ministries have really been supportive. In actual fact, they have really supported in terms of finances. Some of them sometimes travel all the way up here to be with us when we have such outreaches. They have really been supportive. A few times we've sent messages out to partners when we had to embark on some of these projects, and the feedback we get from some of them are very encouraging. Things like, we are standing with you and we believe God for you. Next time we will be there if we have enough notice. I think they have been very encouraging. Last year, just like we always do, our partners enabled us to be able to embark on some activities, which included a medical outreach program in a community called Tola. And then we also had a reproductive health sensitization program. And so we realized that being the only girls JHS school we have, it's at Nyarigadone. Apart from that, we also awarded some bursaries and gave financial assistance to some students, about 50 of them in various schools, ranging from primary right up to the university. And we also were able to monitor these beneficiaries in terms of their performance in schools. We visited them in schools to make sure that they were making very good use of the bursaries we gave them.
Our next stop was Nyarigadone. Nyarigadone is predominantly a farming community in the Bolkatanga municipality. The community is known for weaving baskets, most of which are exported. It is the only community in the municipality with a girls' primary and junior high school.
Reproductive health in Ghana today remains a very important aspect of our everyday life, and that is because you find a lot of diseases and so many challenges coming out of this particular situation. And so we realized that being the only girls JHS school we have in the Upper East region, we felt that it was important for us to sensitize them early before they make certain unpardonable mistakes. And that was what took us to the Nyarigadone school. And we were able to reach out to over 230 students. The response of the head teacher made us know that our going there was really timely. And that was because she made us understand that it was a real big challenge that they were facing, where girls that were growing up with very great potential all of a sudden will get pregnant and fall out of school. And that was because they felt that, well, after all, a woman's place is in the kitchen, and she didn't have to fight to be able to get high on the social ladder. And so it was one big challenge that they had. And going there also made the girls also see that they really needed to keep themselves and be able to fulfill their God-given purposes in life. We were really touched by their response to the sensitization program. And then also after that, we had some of the young ladies come in to tell their own stories about how they've been able to go through some of these challenges, in spite of the fact that, they were also faced similar temptations with young men and, the need to be able to acquire maybe fashionable clothes and so on, which many times lead these young girls into all kinds of lifestyles. And so it really made an impact in their lives. In fact, at the time we were leaving, the head teacher asked us to come back and hold more programs with them, because she believed that it would really help establish these children. And so as I speak now, we've laid down some mentoring program to be able to go back and help these children. For me, one of the highlights of this particular sensitization program was when we had to meet with the founder of the school. It will amaze you to know that this founder of the school is an illiterate woman. She went out to look for a loan from a certain organization to help her business, and she was told that because she could not read and write, she could not be given the loan. And because of that, she took it upon herself to get a land so that a school can be built upon, so that more girls can be educated. And she felt that if she could not get the opportunity to read and write, other children that are in her community should not miss that opportunity. And I felt that that was really commendable.
Don't just temper, because if you temper and say, after this time I'm free, I can have sex because I am not yet menstruating, so when I have sex, I won't be pregnant. You may be unfortunate. Maybe that was the month that you were to start the menses. Ovulation have already taken place, so you can get pregnant within that time.
A virgin till I get married. You understand? If you take that decision, you can stand by it, because nobody took the decision for you. You took it yourself. So you take that decision. You have your personal value. We have educational values, national values. You must personally also have a value.
My name is Akansilim Ernestina. They have let us know what is reproductive health. And as we are beginning to menstruate, we know how to protect ourselves. If we are menstruating and it's paining us, we should go to the hospital. I would like to thank them for what they have done to us. It's a good thing to us. We have never seen these things in our life. I wish you will come back and say it to us again. Thank you.
It would interest you to know that when we got there, a former assemblyman told us that the land that was given to them to build a school, it was a place where they threw away any child they felt, was deformed or had a kind of a syndrome, didn't really look normal. They threw that child there and it was left there to die. And so they gave them that land thinking nothing good could come out of it. But I was amazed to see the passion of these girls and their desire to make it in life. I was amazed to see the way these girls really embraced the sensitization program and their willingness to break out of the status quo. It was something that was commendable, and I believe that they deserve all the support that they require.
Over 200 students gave their lives to Christ at the end of the session. Tola is a community in the Talensi district, 48 kilometers away from the Upper East regional capital of Bolgatanga. The people there are mainly farmers. It is one of the communities that caught the attention of the EAM Social Transformation Team due to its need for quality healthcare. A medical team consisting of 8 doctors screened and offered treatment to 547 inhabitants in Tola and other neighboring communities. Some of the ailments treated included malaria, respiratory tract infection, hypertension, diarrhea, eye and skin diseases, and anemia.
The social transformation wing of Eastwood Anaba Ministries is really poised for action. We are determined to make a difference in the lives of, even if it's just an individual child. We are determined to put a smile on the face of a mother who cannot make ends meet. We are determined to see the life of a school-going child blossom and become a productive citizen of Ghana.
This little baby was only 3 weeks old when her mother brought her for help. She had a rare condition.
I was on my monitoring visits just to make sure that all the health workers were really working and everything logistic was in order. When one of the EAM partners quickly ran to me and informed me about an emergency. And when I got there, I saw a baby wrapped in a cloth. She was hidden. So I didn't even know there was a live baby inside the cloth. Then I was told by her mother that the baby was critically ill, and for the past 3 weeks, she hasn't really breastfed since she gave birth to her, just 2 days. And since then, it's been a big challenge for the baby. So when she heard of the medical outreach, she had to trek from a nearby village to come and see whether her baby could be assisted to survive. So immediately I had to handle it as an emergency case.
We took the baby from her. The baby was very weak, dehydrated, could not cry, and looked very sick. Apparently the woman had delivered the baby at home. We gave first aid at Tola.
Thankfully, the doctor in charge of the neonatal intensive care unit was part of the medical outreach team, so he quickly attended to the baby.
And then immediately brought the baby to the Bogatanga Regional Hospital, the neonatal intensive care unit. She was diagnosed of having severe cord sepsis and then severe neonatal sepsis. So that made her very weak. She couldn't cry, she couldn't breastfeed. We had to express breast milk from the mother, EBM, and feed every day. The mother didn't even have enough breast milk because she herself, I think, couldn't feed well, so her breast milk was a challenge. We were to pass an IV line, a cannula for her. She couldn't even cry. Normally, babies like that, when you pass the IV line, they cry a lot, but she just didn't have the energy to even cry. And that was a very serious indication that could cause a very serious problem. But by the interventions of the medications and other things, she was fine.
The baby was looking very well. She was looking good. You could also see she was a pretty girl, because 3 days after she was admitted, we saw a drastic improvement in her weight and appearance, and we're very happy. And thankfully, after 2 weeks, she showed so much improvement in her recovery that she was discharged. The family showed so much gratitude, and in order to remember what EAM had done for them, they decided that EAM should name the baby so that anytime they saw or they mentioned the name, they would remember that it was due to the assistance EAM had given to them. That was why they still had their baby alive. So we went ahead and named her Shanita, which means God's gift.
Unfortunately, a few weeks after her recovery, baby Shanita died.
Shanita's death came as a shock to us, most especially to me. It was very painful to the entire team. because we kept monitoring her and everything pointed to the fact that she had recovered fully.
So hearing that Shanita passed away, it's very sad to hear that, because she was a very pretty, promising baby that we all prayed and then thought that she would grow up and then be a living testimony.
In fact, I had to pause for a while because I know the pain of losing a child, and we believe this could have been averted if Shanita and her mother had full medical attention and care. But considering the constraints Shanita even had to be born under, we knew this was more of a luxury, because Shanita was born under very deprived conditions, considering the fact that she was born in a community where the whole community and 2 other communities were being catered for by 1 community nurse and 1 midwife. And with a total population of over 6,200 people in the 3 communities, you could see that Shanita and her mother did not have proper medical care as we would have wished for them. This is when we think partners of EAM could come in and support us to reach out to these deprived communities. One thing that came out was that we saw an improvised motor tricycle with a welded structure that was used as an ambulance. And the structure itself was not very comfortable, but that is where pregnant women had to be mounted on to be carried to the nearest health center, which is 18 kilometers away from Tola. That in itself, it's a journey which I would describe as a life and death journey, because you can't guarantee the full recovery of the pregnant woman, especially when she's in labor, to endure such a distance on a motor tricycle on an untarred and inaccessible road.
She couldn't keep up the fight. May the soul of little Shanita rest in peace. Little Godfred Atinka suffers from a condition called hydrocephalus. His head keeps swelling as a result of the effects of the condition.
My name is Atinka Aine. This is my grandson.
He's been unwell for some time now. We've examined him. He has what we call hydrocephalus, which is an abnormal fluid accumulation in the brain. That's not a normal head. It's been increasing in size because of the fluid collection in the brain. And he will need to undergo surgery. Currently, he also has a weakness in the lower limbs, so he's unable to walk. So he needs to undergo surgery. They've already seen the neurosurgeon at the Confanoche Teaching Hospital, and they've asked them to make a deposit for the procedure. And they have approached EAM for support. We have assessed the situation, and we feel that we should help this little child. So on behalf of the president of EAM and the vice president, we have here a check. We believe that this will go a long way to help them in the medical treatment.
On behalf of the family, we want to say a very big thank you for the support. We believe that this amount of money will be able to take the boy back to the hospital.
EAM is ready to work. Much as we are ready to do the work, we still have challenges, there are hindrances. Much as we are poised for action, you and I know that everything runs on money. The Bible says that money answereth all things. And so we are appealing to you, our friends and partners out there. You have seen the clip, you've seen what we are doing, and I believe that you are touched and you can help us in various ways. We can receive monies from you, we can come through money transfer, or anytime we have our partners impartation services, you could donate monies, especially for social transformation. And then also on the screen, our bank details have been made available to you so that you can send us money. I believe that as you send us these monies, it will help us to be able to do more. You could also support us in kind. And we've had some partners come in when we had the oral health sensitization. They supported us with toothpaste and toothbrushes for school children. And our recent trip to Tola also, we had some of our notable partners coming with medical supplies, and with that we were able to help a whole community and even beyond, because we even left some of the drugs for the CHIPS compound for the community nurse to be able to use to take care of the people there. And so it could come in various ways. What we will do is to let you know what we'll be embarking on, so that if you can help us in cash or in kind, I believe it will go a long way to alleviate the sufferings of people. You are the ones that will enable us to move to do the work. And I believe that for every smile that comes on the face of anyone, I believe that heaven is recording a reward for you. Thank you very much, and the Lord richly bless you.